What is a theory, by the way?
Needs for further study.
Needs for further study. So recommendation.
For justification purposes.
Justification for
It's a supposition. It is a supposition.
supposition, hypothesis yan.
And then to explain something.
I have a theory, and my theory is this. The volume of your voice is inversely proportional to your sense of certainty about your answer. True or false? The volume of your voice is inversely proportional to the certainty of your statement. True or false? Like this. What is a theory? A theory is no more sure about the last. Say Roland. It's a supposition about the last part is not certain. Is this theory true or false? Well, we do not know unless I validate it also. So, Marvin, what is a theory? Okay, so even certain siya about what he is talking about, but wrong. Okay. I'm not talking about accuracy, I'm just talking about certainty. Observe that in your classroom. Ask a question in your class, and the louder the voice, the more certain he is. The lower the voice, the more uncertain he becomes. Okay. What is the population of China? It's about 7 lagi mo nadunggan. So it's only the 7 that he is certain about. Billion, million, thousand, not sure. Theory. Okay. A theory is a statement. It is a statement that explains why things happen as they do. Okay? It is a statement that explains why things happen as they do. For example, in the work of Marvin, you should explain why certain countries follow the straight line pattern and why certain countries follow the parabolic pattern. Then you have a theory. If you can explain why they're following this pattern and why some are following this pattern, then you have a theory. Okay? And why do we state theories? Why are theories important in your discipline? Because they keep your discipline alive. If you have no more theories in your own discipline, your discipline will die. There are no more statements explaining why certain phenomena are happening in your discipline will die. Okay. And there are 3 main functions of a theory. Only 3. The first function is to predict. Okay? If this is why things are happening, then what do you think will happen in the future? So prediction. Okay? And of course, obviously, it was also for explanation. And the third is so you can control. So So you state a theory for three main reasons: to predict, to explain, and or to control the events. If you know that this is going to happen, let's say, if you can have a theory about to test this strategy about war on drugs, what is your theory? Well, first of all, you have to zero in on the phenomenon. What phenomenon are we going to describe and explain? War on drugs. Okay, what is the phenomenon? War on drugs itself.
The volume of victims and the extrajudicial killing.
Extrajudicial feelings. Well, what do you want? So that is the first step. What do you want to observe? Are you going to observe how much drug has been retrieved? Are you going to observe how much lives are taken by this war? Unsa man atong tanawon? You have to focus in on the phenomenon. Choose any.
The number of personalities involved.
Okay, so you want to zero in on that. Number of personalities involved in the war against drugs. Okay. So now let's explain why things are happening as they do. Bakit? What things are happening with respect to this a number of personalities? So in other words, I'm asking, why are so many personalities involved in the war on drugs? So, what is your theory? The answer to my question is your theory, no? Why things are happening as they do? Why are there so many personalities involved in the war on drugs?
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle is the answer?
Easy money.
And in the choice of the theory, because you want to explain why there are so many personalities involved. In the formulation of the theory, the simplest, parsimonious explanation is usually the one that is correct. Why are there so many personalities involved? Well, because the problem is so widespread. Okay? So the theory is that the Philippines is drug infested. It's a simple statement. It's parsimonious. It's the simplest answer to my question. So it's so widespread that it will involve so many personalities. And it cuts across the various strata of the society. It is so widespread. Sa Tagalog pa, napakalaki na ng talamak na ang problema sa droga. Kaya maraming nai-involve. Okay? So that's the simplest answer to the question. Now, prediction. What do you think will happen if this persists? If what is happening is is going to persist? There are so many personalities involved now. If this will persist, you will be able to, in the long run, no, you will be able to identify the biggest of these personalities. Okay, it may even reach up to the highest level of the government. Okay? And then, what will happen? If it reaches that level, think.
Gusto na masuk.
Mahal ang drugs.
Mag-isod na ba?
Okay. It will reach a climax. Okay? And this climax will be such that it will be a political, economic, social turmoil. Maggira-gira naman na sila dito because the biggest drug lord is going to be caught and he's not going to settle for, he's not going to take it sitting down. Right? So there will be such a climax and then there will be a denouement. Okay? Denouement. Sa literature, beginning, climax, and denouement. Spell denouement. Ending na lang, good sir. Okay, so it will do like that. No? So this is going to happen. And that's the importance of the theory. You can anticipate asa ni paingon where we are going. And you cannot stop it. So how do you control? See, I'm now looking at three functions. I was able to explain, was able to predict what's going to happen. How will you control? So the only thing that can control reaching that climax is if we maintain unity, solidarity towards that goal. In other words, if the people will support that goal, no matter what, then the anticipated climax may not reach. But if the very people who supported this administration will back out along the way, then that will happen. The climax will happen. So that's the function of a theory. And see, there is no number, there is no statistic that I am using except logic. So the whole framework of pattern recognition hinges on your ability to deduce, to infer what would happen in the future. Sige. Please continue. Here is a data set that a graph that I borrowed from the book of Grossman, Karmath, and Kumar, Data Mining for Scientists and Engineering Applications. The area below the pink curve is the area that was already analyzed, no? The data that was analyzed, and the area above it are the data sets that remain to be analyzed. And as you can see, dako kayo, so the proportion of the data that has not been analyzed yet is so huge. It makes no sense that you will add to this data set. It makes sense that you will gather more data to add to this huge area that has not been analyzed. What we really need to do are active data miners like you, who are able to analyze this data set correctly. For example, it has been there just on the net what the PPIR, Purchasing Power Index, and what the quality of life is all over the world, but no one has attempted to analyze it carefully so that you can get a new discovery. So it belongs still to that area on top. And there are many more like that. Okay, please continue. Okay, what is not data mining? If you look up phone numbers in phone directory, so just look at numbers in phone directory, that's not data mining because you're not recognizing any pattern. What is data mining? If you now observe by looking at the telephone directory that if you're in the United States, certain names are more prevalent in certain US location. For example, if you're in Boston, you'll find out that many of the names begin with O. O'Brien, O'Rourke, O'Reilly, Obama, Onies. Basta you begin with an O apostrophe, you are known to be in Boston. Okay? Now here's a little curious fact about our family names, no? Who is from